Hey guys, what's up? It's Dusty here, back with another crypto video. At the end of this month, we're going to be giving away $500 worth of crypto, and all that you have to do is press the like button on this video and comment something down below. That is everything that you need to do, but also make sure you're subscribed so you can actually do this on as many videos as possible. So that's how you actually increase your chances even more. And also go ahead and go check out my second channel. It is called Dusty. I just posted a video on there yesterday about how to make passive income with $1,000 right now. It's a very interesting video in my opinion, and I'm hopefully going to be posting one video on here every single week. So make sure you're subscribed because I put a lot of effort into making that video. Now guys, it is 30 degrees right now at 2 a.m. and I'm talking about Celsius, not Fahrenheit. It is completely insane, this heat that I've been witnessing here. But that does not stop us from making some more new XRP, Ripple, and Libra, whatever types of videos right here. Gotta create that content, right? As there is so much news to cover, and news does not stop. I actually have recorded this video a couple of times already, but I decided to redo it and hopefully give you guys a clearer message, as I noticed my story needed a little bit of improving. But now, again, before we get into this, make sure you press the like button right now because I'm going to be giving you guys some fire. Ripple's CEO worried about regulatory backlash over Facebook's Libra plan. What's been going on is the Libra situation, and I can explain that in a very long way or a very brief way. The very long way we've done over all of these videos. If you actually look back in a whole archive of 20 videos, you'll most likely understand. But to put it into a brief way, there have been so many different moods about Libra that people are getting worried. And again, to put this in perspective for a lot of you guys, the general mood about Libra at the real first moment was like, what the actual shizzle is this? Are they really going to get this going? Then a little bit later, when people started to notice Libra was really a thing, and it got media attention, mainstream attention, people were like, oh, this is amazing for crypto space. It's really drawing a lot of people in. This is really good. Then Libra started to go out even further, spread more, blah, 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 blah. A lot of people from the public were against it, for AML, so anti-money laundering and illegal activities, yada yada yada. So again, that started to make people like, meh, maybe this is not so good. And now what we're seeing, even a little bit later, is that these worries about illegal activities are great, right? They are very much out there, and even Brett Garlinghouse is now worried about those comments. So here is one of the comments from Mnuchin. I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't even know though. Stephen Mnuchin or whatever. U.S. Treasury Secretary Mnuchin, Libra could be misused. Treasury Secretary Stephen Mnuchin speaks from the White House about his concerns over Libra. And let's actually quickly watch this little part right here so you guys can understand.
Is developing a cryptocurrency called the Libra. The Treasury Department has expressed very serious concerns that Libra could be misused by money launderers and terrorist financiers. Treasury has been very clear to Facebook, Bitcoin users, and other providers of digital financial services that they must implement the same anti-money laundering and countering financing of terrorism, known as AML CFT safeguards, as traditional financial institutions.
So, all right, actually listening to this once more, we can understand that it's a good thing yet a bad thing. Bad part is that he says, a lot of these other places, he first names Libra, then Bitcoin users, and then the rest, sort of. And he's worried about illegal activities and mostly about, money-related illegal activities. The good part about it is that we know that Ripple and XRP actually have no big deal in this because they're actually following these CFATC or however that those things are put in there. They're actually following those lines very well, and money laundering is not one of the issues that I see for Ripple/XRP. Now, this whole story here goes on to talk about Brett Garlinghouse and his stance on Libra over time. So first off here, Brett Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple, says he's worried about Facebook's plans to enter the arena with his Libra digital coin, because Libra digital coin will provoke harsher regulation of the entire sector. So really, again, to put this in perspective, you just want to make sure that you don't get caught in the crossfire. It's important to me that when regulators start asking questions, that they don't lump us all into one big bucket. And that's, again, where I am afraid as well, and why I so understand Brad Garlinghouse in this situation. What I'm thinking right now, right? And this is mostly also due to one of the tweets by Donald Trump, because he said he's not a fan of Bitcoin or other cryptos, which are not money and whose value is highly volatile and based on thin air. Unregulated crypto assets can facilitate unlawful behavior, including drug trade and other illegal activity. Why I'm so afraid about the situation is because of their stance. Like they're saying here, unregulated crypto assets can facilitate unlawful behavior, yada yada. And he's actually talking about all cryptos, sort of. Right, he's actually talking about all cryptos, saying that they're all illegal. They're all making people drug trade and not follow money laundering rules, yada yada yada. He's lumping them all together, and that's really not what we want to see with Ripple and XRP. And how people are approaching Libra right now, it's really looking like they're talking about Libra, Ripple, some others, all lumping them all into one basket. And that's something that's Garlinghouse is scared for. He does not want that to happen. He wants everything to be separate. So even though Ripple had a very good time from Libra coming into the space, because it opened up to a lot of mainstream news, and it really got people to take Ripple seriously, as we'll see further down into this story. It is also one of the factors that really could doom them if people were to get against Libra and lump all of these things together. So what Donald Trump is actually saying in his tweet, and what some of these others are saying as well, is that it's like saying, I'm not a fan of internet companies, Garlinghouse said to Trump's tweets. There are lots of different types of internet companies. And again, if you're saying you're against or not a fan of internet companies, there are a bazillion internet companies. Which ones are you against? All of them? Really? You don't even know all of them. Maybe there's one you like. You don't know. You're just saying it for the sake of saying it, but you don't really know. And I think that's also an issue. Now, again, here's explaining why what's been going on with Ripple and how good it all is, yada, yada, yada. And then it says again why Garlinghouse was so enthusiastic about Libra before, because back on the conference in June, he sent the project leaders right there a bottle of champagne. And also he said that in the week that Libra was announced, sort of, Ripple and XRP had one of the best weeks ever. Because Libra was a massive call to action, and they got a lot of popularity from this. The banks realized that if Facebook is going to be a competitor in this space, they can't depend on a technology like Swift to compete in the marketplace. Again, it is really true, though. It is really, really quite true. Now, of course, Garlinghouse was speaking before Trump's anti-crypto tweet storm. It was also before a July 16 U.S. Senate Banking Committee hearing on Facebook's Libra plans, at which senators from both parties expressed deep misgivings with the project, ranging from potential for fraud to privacy violations to the effect Libra might have on the monetary policy. In addition, U.S. Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin and Jerome Powell, the head of the U.S. Federal Reserve, have also both said that they have serious concerns about Libra. Garlinghouse said that worries about the anti-money laundering or about money laundering and other criminal activity using cryptocurrencies should not apply to Ripple's XRP. Again, this is why it's also good, guys. This is so positive. Really happy with that. It's all too good. Transfers over Ripple's network can only be made by regulated financial institutions, which already have to comply with anti-money laundering and know your customer rules, irrespective of the method they use to make cross-border payments. And that's again why I'm so excited about the situation, guys. Damn. This article here is almost the same as the first one, so we don't really need to cover it in great detail. What I do want to say, though, is that it's freaking 30 degrees right now. It was 40 degrees here in the Netherlands today. I don't think I've ever witnessed that. I think it's also a record for the last 75 years. And yes, if you did not know yet, I'm not 75 years old. So that's a little, might be shocking to y'all, but I'm not. I'm actually not. And it's been crazy, all right? A lot of you guys must probably have seen this often before. I've seen it a couple of times in Portugal, I think, over 40 degrees, and maybe like Dubai. But in my own country, the Netherlands, never seen 40 degrees, and it's doing something with a man. Tell you that. This was actually to put some emphasis on how the perspective on Libra has changed over time, because this read, Ripple CEO on Libra, this is an article from a week ago, Perhaps some Silicon Valley arrogance with cryptocurrency rollout. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse has joined CNBC to give his take on Libra, Facebook's controversial planned crypto. But then again, something else. All right, now we're going to some tweets that are really important. And again, when I previously recorded this video, it was like 60 minutes long. Now I think we're doing it a little bit longer, but it's all okay. We got some cool stuff. CNuke9 on Twitter said, so MoneyGram is using Ripple technology to reduce customer fees. But if I try to send some money to Argentina, for example, it costs $10 to send $50. So quick question. Is MoneyGram using Ripple for the customers or just to increase their own profits? By the way, send XRP instead. And then there's a video of him trying to send $50 and it costing $60. So of course, then there's a $10 fee. The best reply that I could have seen was from XRP Yoda, who says, corridor needs setting up there, yet chill you must. It's a waiting game, all right? Don't expect everywhere and every place and thing you're going to try to work instantly. It needs some time to be adopted everywhere, right? A lot has to do with regulatory uncertainty and just wait it out. At one point, it's going to switch over. I'm just going to like these both because they're a good question and a good answer. Oscar Williams Grutt, Oscar W. Grutt on Twitter says, speaking with the CEO of Ripple later today, anyone have any questions? I found this really interesting that he is talking with the CEO of Ripple, right? So for him to open up like this and asking the community for questions is another major plus in my book. Michael Devlin UK on Twitter asked, how important is XRP to the overall success of Ripple? And at first, this doesn't sound like the most interesting question at all. But when I started to dig into my head further into this question, I noticed that this is really quite interesting. We know that XRP and Ripple are independent both ways, so XRP is not dependent on Ripple, Ripple is not dependent on XRP, at least for the most part. But how much of a factor does XRP play in the success of Ripple? How we're trying to say that is, let's say XRP vanishes right now, will Ripple succeed? And if XRP is to stay right now, how good is that for Ripple? And we know that it's in Ripple's best interest for XRP price to appreciate because they have a lot of it themselves as well. And of course, the founders of Ripple have a lot of XRP as well, which is, again, really positive for them. The price appreciates. But again, how good is it actually for them? You know, literally, how good is it for them? I'm wondering about that. Another series of good questions from Dave_Jones with a Z_02. Dave Jones on Twitter says, yes. 1. When will we be seeing the first live XRP transaction by MoneyGram? 2. What new XRP corridors will we be seeing open up and when? And 3. Could you comment on the recent resurgence of the Swift rumors? Why not, right? These are some excellent questions. Basically, exactly what some people are looking for. Really amazing, you know, period, point blank. Good. XRP Center, XRP Research Center, one of my best sources for XRP stuff. At least in the past, I used to always, you know, stalk his tweets or her or its tweets all the time. Right now, I've stirred away from it a little bit again, but always providing quality content. Say hi to XRP, world's first bankster coin, enabling international settlements, ironically, without relying on banks. Added to that is a tweet from SendFriend. Without relying on banks, SendFriend is able to send money to the Philippines faster, more securely, and at a lower cost than most other remittance platforms. Plus, we're giving our loyal customers free transactions all summer long. Runs on Ripple, free transactions all summer long. And Dave Jones replied to that by saying, and the first coin to actually help people save money. One article here that I found quite interesting to a certain degree is 4 signs XRP performed decently in Q2 2019. If you're wondering what's so good about Q2 of 2019, go check out my last 4 videos. I've done so much about Q2 of XRP and of Ripple here. I don't need to explain it to you guys anymore. It's just been the most amazing quarter. And if you're looking at my mouse right now, it's really been going like this. It's going exponential. It's going amazing. It's going extraordinary. Oh. To contextualize that, we've just seen some results in the Q2 report that are looking real juicy. That's about what I'm going to say on that situation. If you're not up to date with Q2 report, go check out one of my older videos, guys, or go just read the report. It's worth it. It's really a lot of important stuff. And again, don't forget to check out my second channel and this video, how to make passive income with $1,000 right now. It's on my second channel called Dusty. And also don't forget to press the like button on this video and comment something down below to enter the $500 giveaway. Some other cool stuff in the crypto space though is from Justin Sun, first of all, which says Tron saga takes curious turn as Justin Sun faces new allegation. And this article is here about Bram Cohen. If you don't know who that is, he's the founder of BitTorrent, and I think he was fired or resigned from Tron because he didn't like BitTorrent being bought, I believe. What he says right now is, anybody know if Justin Sun is hard up for cash? He isn't letting the last payments for BitTorrent get out of escrow. Somebody else replied, or crypto_skills replied by saying, seem to have paid out on the 11th as per normal. What is your source from this? And Bram Cohen, in a very direct manner to say the least, replied by saying, my source for this is that I don't have the money and the escrow agency says they haven't gotten sign-off. What's your source? Very straight up, but I don't really know too much about the situation, so that's why I can't really comment on it. Can't really say what's going on since I basically plainly don't know. But I would like to know from a lot of you guys what you think on the situation. And then another article that I just found was this one right here. How Bitcoin entrepreneur lost his $4.6 million lunch with Warren Buffett. Why this is so peculiar is because I don't really think that he lost the lunch. Alright, I think it's just being postponed. And this is an article on the New York Post, so a lot of people are going to be reading this. But this article is really funny. It explains how Chinese authorities have held Justin Sun, how Justin Sun has been having a lot of trouble, he can't leave the country, how the Chinese Communist Party has been writing a lot of the Weibo posts from Justin Sun, and really that it's a very, very crazy situation. But meanwhile, I don't think it's that crazy what's been going on. What Justin Sun has been explaining is he's a little bit ill, he doesn't feel well, he can't let this go on, and then on Twitter and Weibo, I think specifically, he also just said like, hey, I'm sorry for marketing like crazy, right? I'm going to try dim it down and become a better person for the youth. We don't know who wrote that. It could have been him, could have been his mentor Jack Ma, you know, could have been the government over there, could have been his team, his legal team, frick if I know. All I know is that this lunch, Justin Sun, would have never, right? Never, and I can guarantee you that, never canceled this lunch if he had any other option. I don't really even think it was his own choice to cancel this. Even if he had the worst pains in the world, I think he would still go. Right? I mean, with kidney stones, you probably won't be able to go. But the next day, he was out of the hospital again, right? So, shouldn't have canceled it. I don't think he canceled it himself because this is sort of what he really thrives for, what he lived for. I think there was something higher involved here. Maybe it was Chinese government. We don't know. But I found it a little bit of a crazy situation. And last but not least, Cardano could skyrocket against the weakening Bitcoin. I wanted to hear your opinions on this article and the situation about Cardano, because Cardano is not moving that crazy in the charts right now, but it's one of my best long-term coins, and I would really like to know if you guys want some more videos of me going over Cardano and such, because in this article here, they're talking about a bearish exhaustion on the daily chart for Cardano BTC, and they're also analyzing the weekly chart for Cardano BTC. But you know, I'm not too interested right now in talking about Cardano price. But if you want it, let me know in the comments section down below, and I'll check it out. Thank you all for watching this video. Hopefully you did enjoy. Make sure you press the like button on this video right now. Make sure you understand that this is not financial advice, purely for entertainment purposes only, and I just talk really fast because I like it, and it's very, very hot outside.